Alex Barth from the Sports Hub in Boston joining us here on our progressive guest line talking about the Patriots and their big offseason thus far. How about the idea that Bill Belichick could be all in and call up his old buddy Nick Caserio right here in Houston and try and work out a deal for Deshaun Watson? What are the chances something crazy like that could actually happen?
Well, it's up to Deshaun Watson. I don't doubt the Patriots should make the call. I don't doubt they'd have a competitive offer. They might not have the most competitive offer, but they can get creative because they have that Stephon Gilmore trade chip as well. Watson has to waive the no-trade clause. He has to want to come to New England. And the conversation yesterday, up until yesterday, nobody was really considering it. And then after the last couple of days, now it's like, well, okay, this is an attractive quarterback offense. This is an offense Watson could run very well. It's built to his strength. And maybe that's the move. I saw somebody threw out there that Houston wouldn't trade him to New England because of, what the reaction of the fan base and the history of the two franchises. But Jake, I think you and all you down there in Houston know the Houston Texans brass caring about what the fan thinks and then worrying about upsetting the fans. That ship has sailed for a couple years now. That's been gone. If they care, Jack Easterby would step down. So it's just a matter of if Watson would want it, and I don't know. That's a personal decision for him. He wants to go to Denver. He wants to go to San Francisco. Those are the reports right now. Different kind of situations than New England, so we'll see. But if he were to say, I'll okay it, if you want to send it to New England, I'll sign off on it. I think there's a real chance the Patriots can get competitive and be in the conversation.
Yeah, the thing is, the reports changed every day where he would go. And I've been told this. Nick Caserio is not going to be bullied by Deshaun Watson's camp and trade him to a team that he wants to go to. Like, if they're going to trade him, Deshaun Watson's got to be willing to go to the team that will make the best offer. Otherwise, the Texans have no incentive to trade him. They could fine him, be bad for a year, and then worry about it next offseason. So, what would an offer look like, hypothetically, if New England wanted Deshaun? Like, how many picks would they be willing to offer, knowing that, the 15th overall pick is not that attractive of an offer to start things off?
So I think you're looking at probably 2 to 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 players. And the Patriots have some interesting players because of the connection between Caserio and the Patriots. He used to run the Patriots draft board. You have offensive tackle Isaiah Wynn, running back Sony Michel, guys who are still in their rookie deals. And then there's the Stephon Gilmore element. Would Houston want Stephon Gilmore and want to pay him as they go through a rebuild? Or can the Patriots maybe trade him, to a team like Green Bay? You get the 29th pick. You use 29 and 15 to move up into the top 10. And now all of a sudden, instead of sending Houston the 15th pick, you're sending him maybe the 7th, 8th, 9th picks, something like that. So that clears things up a little bit. They can get creative, but I think you're looking at 2 to 3 firsts, 2 seconds, and players, young players on rookie contracts.
How about Russell Wilson? How does he play in all this? Now, his agent put out a list of 4 teams he'd be willing to go to. New England was not on that list, but if Russ wants out, I think you'd have to update that list. Do you think New England would be interested in Russ, even if it costs a lot like Deshaun Watson would?
Yeah, I think they'd be interested. I don't think Russell Wilson's getting moved this year. It really feels like him seeing what some of these other quarterbacks are doing. Brady last year, Watson, Matthew Stafford this year, and I think he's frustrated with what Seattle's putting around him, specifically on the offensive line. I think he's frustrated that that concern isn't being heard, and I think starting to float these trade rumors out there is his way of telling the Seahawks, you better start listening to me. So I'm more, if things don't get fixed, I'll put more stock into the Russell Wilson thing next year, right? I think he becomes the Deshaun Watson of next offseason. As it stands right now, things can change, and this has been a crazy offseason. But as it stands right now, I think that there's smoke, but I don't think there's fire there quite yet. But yes, if he was available, I absolutely believe the Patriots would be in on it. They have a play-action heavy offense set up. It's going to allow Wilson to get outside the pocket, throw outside the numbers. That's what he wants to do. I think it's an offense he'd work really well in. He could get excited about. It's just a matter of, does he want to come to New England?